From the ancient pyramids of the Maya to the bustling streets of Mexico City, Mexico is a country shrouded in mystique. Vibrant culture, mouth-watering cuisine, and stunning scenery. There's plenty that draws over 40 million visitors to its turquoise shores each year. But behind postcard-perfect images of Mexico lie some astonishing secrets. There's far more to uncover about this magnetic country than tacos and tequila. Did you know Mexico City is literally sinking? Or that the Mexican flag's history is shrouded in mystery? Let's rip off the mask and unwrap some of Mexico's coolest secrets. Let's start with Mexico's real name, which hints at a complex truth beneath the surface. What's the story behind its official title? Mexico's official name is the United Mexican States, or Estados Unidos Mexicanos in Spanish. Surprisingly, the country's real name isn't Mexico. It's actually a union of 31 states and Mexico City, the capital. This is similar to the United States of America. Due to this complex federal structure, each Mexican state has distinct laws, regulations, culture, traditions, landscapes, and more. Even the police forces are controlled by individual states rather than a national force. So when traveling from one state to another within Mexico, you'll notice differences as if crossing between countries. One significant impact is on cell phone service. In Mexico, your phone is virtually always roaming as you change states. This means you may experience changes in your phone plan coverage and rates. Mexico has far more diversity under the surface than most visitors realize. Make sure to educate yourself on the unique characteristics of each state you're traveling to for a smooth journey that steps outside the usual tourist experience. Think you know Mexico's capital city? Not so fast. Why wasn't Mexico City officially designated until recently? While Mexico City is known around the world as the capital of Mexico, its status wasn't made officially permanent under its current name until very recently. Up until 2016, Mexico's capital was officially called the Federal District, or Distrito Federal in Spanish. Mexico City was used commonly in everyday speech, but Distrito Federal was the technically correct name for the capital. Making things even more confusing is that Mexico City is not a state. Rather, it's a special capital district located geographically within the state of Mexico. So the capital, Mexico City, lies within the state, also confusingly named Mexico. This complexity changed in 2016 when the federal district was formally designated as the 32nd federal entity of the country, renamed Ciudad de Mexico, directly translating to Mexico City. By officially cementing this legendary city's name, it resolved a quirk that had endured for centuries. Today, when you visit the buzzing capital city, you can confidently say you're exploring Mexico City without wondering about its distinct political status, separate from the surrounding state of Mexico. Over 1.6 million Americans call Mexico home. What draws so many expats south of the border? It may surprise you to discover that over 1.6 million U.S. citizens have chosen to call Mexico their home. This staggering number comes from the U.S. State Department. It makes Mexico the top destination by far for American expats and travelers seeking new horizons beyond the borders. Why does Mexico inspire so many Americans to take a chance moving south? Reasons range from the lower cost of living, ideal tropical climate, postcard-worthy beaches and landscapes to Mexico's rich cultural heritage. For recent retirees hoping to stretch their pensions further, or families seeking to reinvent their lifestyle, Mexico ticks all the boxes. Nearly 500,000 American children also reside in Mexico after being born to parents who settled here. U.S. citizens living their best life can be found across Mexico, from popular coastal cities to Mexico City and everywhere in between, blending seamlessly into local communities. Despite perceptions, Mexico welcomes foreigners. The strong intrinsic ties between the two countries definitely run deeper than many realize. With 34 sites, Mexico shelters an impressive number of UNESCO World Heritage attractions. What types of magnificent locations make the prestigious UNESCO list? An immense source of national pride and global wonder. Mexico shelters 34 designated UNESCO World Heritage sites within its borders. putting Mexico in 7th position worldwide. To put this into context, UNESCO is the United Nations organization focused on protecting the most valuable cultural and natural locations on our planet, deemed of outstanding universal value. Mexico certainly delivers in impressing UNESCO's strict criteria, thanks to millennia of rich indigenous heritage, seamlessly blending with colonial influences. UNESCO World Heritage sites in the country range from ancient Aztec and Mayan cities like glittering Chichen Itza or mighty Teotihuacan to stunning biosphere reserves teeming with rare wildlife. There are also spectacular colonial cities like Guanajuato and natural wonders like the monarch butterfly biosphere, where butterfly migrations create a dancing rainbow canopy each fall. Each UNESCO site in Mexico tells a magnificent story about the country's sensational history and biodiversity. With 27 cultural, 6 natural, and 1 mixed site, visitors are spoiled for choice in discovering Mexico's diverse range of phenomenal attractions protected for future generations. Mexico takes proactive measures to empower women on public transit. But do local women actually use the special sections? Unfortunately, stories persist of women facing troublesome harassment across public transportation globally. To proactively create safe public transit for women, Mexico can be commended for an uncommon initiative. Across the subway, bus, and train network snaking through Mexico City, you'll notice special sections exclusively for women marked with pink signs. Female commuters can access these sections to travel free from unwanted attention and feel secure during rush hours, where crowded conditions often lead to unsavory contact. Considering Mexico City's mammoth population size, this measure has enhanced peace of mind for millions daily. But cultural surprises continue. Surveys indicate many local women actually avoid the women's-only sections, preferring general seating even at peak times. The reason? Mexican men raised with traditional values still demonstrate admirable habits, like politely offering their seats to nearby women as an ingrained social courtesy. So while harassment unfortunately occurs, Mexican male chivalry alive in the capital's transport network creates surprising outcomes from measures aiming to empower women. Mexico City is sinking fast, even outpacing Venice, Italy's subsidence rates. What forces threaten the stability of this massive capital? Given that Mexico City was improbably built upon Lake Texcoco, it shocks no urban developer that it faces a grave predicament today. The bustling capital is sinking at an alarming rate that exceeds notorious examples like Venice, Italy. Up to 8 inches or 20 centimeters of ground descent is recorded annually across vulnerable zones of this megalopolis. Why the rapid subsidence? Mainly because Mexico City sacrificed its slaking underbelly to explode in population and urbanization over modern history. To gain more land area, authorities drained the soft soils underneath, which compact naturally when dried out, adding the ongoing pressures of draining aquifers for water supply alongside natural vulnerabilities like earthquakes and soil type. Mexico City's foundations face formidable stability threats that engineers constantly race to mitigate through ingenious solutions. Efforts range from stabilizing buildings to avoid collapse to installing early quake alert systems across the capital. While sinking continues, the willingness to confront the dilemma with Mexico's outstanding intellectual capital offers hope that Mexico City can achieve an equilibrium between urban growth and environmental needs in the future. Believe it or not, Mexico has the world's smallest volcano. Why does cute little Quexcomate draw such curiosity? Measuring just 43 feet or 13 meters in height, Mexico is incredibly home to the smallest volcano walking our planet. Meet the quirky Quexcomate. This mini volcano sits pretty in the charming central city of Puebla, where it peacefully resides as a geologic oddity. Unlike typical erupting giants, cute Quexcomate is extinct and hasn't seen molten action in millennia. Today, it stays preserved by the community almost like a statue, except it hails from natural processes rather than human creative hands. Adding delight, its smaller size actually lets people get intimately acquainted, unlike aloof towering volcanoes. Adventure seekers can directly access and enter the tapered chamber via a narrow passage to check out the former fiery belly of the beast up close. Q-Excavate stands as the shining star example of fascinating extremes sculpted by Earth's primordial forces over eons. From violent eruptions to tranquil retirement as Puebla's most adored ornament, it inspires ancient reverence and modern fascination. The revolutionary birth control pill traces back to a Mexican scientist. So why don't more people know about his pivotal contribution? Today, over 100 million women worldwide leverage science's discovery of hormonal contraception for family planning, better health, and empowerment. But few realize the revolutionary origins of the pill traces back to a young Mexican medic named Dr. Luis Miramontes. Alongside chemist colleagues, Miramontes incredibly synthesized the first orally active progestin called norethisterone in 1951 while just 25 years old. This pioneering Mexican work kickstarted research culminating in the first approved oral contraceptive pill product a decade later, to profoundly shake up society. Yet Miramontes received scarce credit despite this breakthrough that spawned the global hormonal contraceptive industry we know enables female choice today. Unlike the personalities behind the final pill, history forgot this pivotal Mexican scientist. His compound made it feasible to develop oral contraceptive methods that could suppress ovulation using hormones the body naturally produced. This proved the key discovery leading to products granting women unprecedented control over pregnancy and family planning, when alternatives remained limited before. Miramontes' Mexican roots thus gave birth to contemporary women empowerment outcomes through this stroke of 20th century genius. Beyond familiar yellow kernels, Mexico amazes with 59 unique native corn types. How did ancient civilizations cultivate this botanical diversity over millennia? When envisioning corn, most imagine the familiar golden yellow variety. However, Mexico reveals an unimaginable diversity of magical corn unlike anywhere globally, over 59 dazzling naturally occurring species, ranging from having black pigment akin to charcoal to appearing delicately marbled. The multiplicity of Mexican corn will captivate you. Beyond striking visual differences, each corn type carries signature advantages too. Their individual traits promote specialized applications in cuisine, whether as wraparound tortillas or producing uniquely flavored oils. Some burst with sweet popcorn goodness, while others mimic amaranth size and texture. Every corn variety still cultivated has a purpose and story cherished in native food culture. Across Mexico's diverse landscapes matching this crop's richness, native civilizations intricately perfected corn breeds over 7,000 years to create this botanical legacy treasured today. Constitutionally, 68 indigenous tongues are still spoken in Mexico, but how do scholars work to save endangered native languages? Marking Mexico's striking diversity is an eye-opening fact. Constitutionally, 68 living indigenous languages are officially recognized across the country. Most extensively spoken today includes tongues like Nahuatl, Yucatec Maya, and Mixtec, with at least 500,000 speakers nationally. But numbers diminish for lesser-known forms at risk today. Beyond the 68 acknowledged indigenous Mexican languages, over 200 dialects related to these language groups additionally exist, enlightening linguistic analysis. Scholars strive to understand dying native dialects before extinction to preserve Mexico's cultural complexity. Although indigenous Mexicans increasingly adopt Spanish today, their creative dialects retain unique phrases and words reflecting regional wisdom passed from ancient generations. Some indigenous languages, like Huichol, notoriously lack Spanish vocabulary, parallels to describe native mythology concepts and ideas resisting translation. Additionally, Mexico recently pioneered mother tongue education models to revitalize endangered native languages. This guarantees future generations to inherit their identity, customs, and oral histories communication naturally enables. Whether spoken by hundreds or millions, Mexico's living linguistic diversity compels us to celebrate human creativity, manifesting diversely across communities, environments, and histories. The Great Pyramid of Cholula dwarfs Egypt's pyramids as the largest monument ever built. What mysteries still surround this mind-boggling giant? Eclipsing even Egypt's Great Pyramids and China's Forbidden City by volume, the ancient Great Pyramid of Cholula definitively reigns as the largest construction accomplished by humankind. Built incrementally from around the 3rd century BCE, this mind-boggling marvel of organized prehistoric labor contains astounding estimates nearing 9 miles or 14 kilometers of secret tunnels inside its belly. Nestled in central Mexico's Puebla state, only a couple of hours from Mexico City, the monumental masterpiece remains actively investigated to solve its mysteries. In size, it dominates, measuring 450 meters wide at the base while soaring over 60 meters high off the valley plains. Remarkably, only a fraction visible constitutes the extensive lower New Pyramid spaces hidden within. Earlier Great Pyramids from classical antiquity see their legacies eclipsed by this phenomenal Mexican giant, still surrounded in enigma. Who truly finished building it, and why? We might never fully uncover the anonymous generations who made its layered construction across centuries possible through visionary coordination and engineering capabilities, quintessential to thriving Mexico's extensive ancestral civilizations. Chocolate passion started in ancient Mexico nearly 4,000 years ago. So how did early civilizations value and prepare cacao? When craving chocolate, few know humanity's debt to Mexico's ancestral civilizations who first processed bitter cacao's divine potential nearly 4,000 years ago. Later in the 1400s, the gold-obsessed Aztec Empire tremendously prized cacao beans as currency and sustenance. Consumed as foamy liquid unsweetened then, cacao infusion gained sacred meaning and mythic lore through complex royal and spiritual ceremonies full of symbolic meaning. Elite warriors reputedly sharpened battle skills, mobilizing quickly after cacao intake, while rituals honored gods of wind and rain. Ancient chocolate helped cultures chart seasonal cycles and astronomy observations too. Like modern coffee breaks at work, Aztec society similarly valued several cacao pauses daily for social escapism and royal exchanges. Ornate containers and instruments specifically for its preparation reflected cacao's high social status in Tenochtitlan. Moctezuma's personal stash numbered over 960,000 beans when awestruck conquistadors stumbled into his cacao-rich empire. Eventually transplanted to Europe, then sweetened, chocolate democratization allowed our universal devotion today to this ambrosial delight with proud Mexican origins. A Mexican inventor pioneered color TV transmissions way back in 1940, so how did he creatively make it work decades too soon? Behold tributes to an electronics wizard hailing from Guadalajara, named Guillermo González Camarena. As early as 1940, this Mexican genius engineered his patented tricolor sequential scanning system to blaze into living rooms across Mexico as the world's first broadcasts demonstrating electronic color television. Years before compatible cameras, González Camarena remarkably developed early color imagery broadcasting by creatively fusing telephone, film, and television triumphs from major 1920-1930s global breakthroughs. He essentially synchronized and rapidly alternated red-green-blue light filters with corresponding film or telephone visual signals at recipient TV sets, reconstructing color pictures amazingly. Despite the absolute scarcity of electronic resources we take for granted today within Depression-era Mexico, this prodigy's relentless inventiveness created the necessary hardware and model to realize a dazzling dream others called impossible with available technology back then. While the US commercialized color TV using different innovations in 1953, this Mexican wizard lit the way over a decade prior through raw cleverness and passion for scientific creativity. Economists have pegged Mexico as an upper-middle-income emerging market economy. What promising conditions show Mexico continues rising in prosperity? Given its high income inequality and region's wrestling endemic poverty challenges, Mexico is unfairly stereotyped by some as an archetypal struggling third world economy with few prospects. However, dismissing Mexico as perpetually underdeveloped fails fact-checking today and overlooks amazing transformations, steadily erasing outdated, stagnant assumptions. According to modern economic classifications, Mexico has now climbed to capture upper-middle-income emerging market status thanks to surging industries diversifying the country's offerings beyond commodities like oil. For perspective, its soaring $2.4 trillion GDP today far outstrips household names we traditionally considered developing countries. This makes Mexico the second-largest economy in Latin America. Telecommunications, manufacturing, tourism, and even aerospace comprise booming sectors affording Mexico's rising middle-class, disposable income, and entrepreneurship rates, which outpace regional rivals. Additionally, Mexico is on trajectory to potentially claim developed economy status in coming decades, with massive infrastructure projects underway and greater political stability achieved recently. Undoubtedly, its deep-rooted challenges like crime and inequality call for continued progress, but Mexico should never be underestimated for its burgeoning prosperity, deftly balancing tradition and visionary transformations. Today, Mexico leads global beer exports thanks to iconic brands. But what special advantages empower Mexico's booming brew fame? Cerveza reigns supreme as Mexico's beloved elixir, constantly saying locals, tourists, and emerging global fanfare alike. Today, Mexico tops all countries, exporting a record $5.5+ billion worth of malted offerings annually, including iconic brands crowning bars worldwide like Corona, Victoria, and Modelo. What gives Mexico that competitive and cultural edge regarding masterful beer making? For one, prolific German immigration starting in mid-1800s infused European techniques, revolutionizing native Mesoamerican ancestral fermenting methods, traceable to ancient clay pottery still produced regionally. Additionally, perfect climate conditions, enabling two-crop yield flexibility for prized Mexican-grown barley, or purchasing imports cost-effectively. Don't underestimate savvy Mexican marketing strategies either. Spoiling patrons with unrivaled service standards makes visitors prone to craving these special south-of-the-border brews back on home soil. Lastly, increasingly health-conscious preferences boost demand for gluten-free clear beer alternatives we, Mexicans, perfected centuries ago along diverse artisanal options from ripe Mexico's 400-plus craft breweries finding exclusive export partnerships lately. Salute to Mexican brew masters and business innovation, keeping happy hour moods festive across the globe. Whether you're craving culture, nature, or fiesta, Mexico surely holds outstanding experiences for every travel style once you peel behind the surface. Its rich legacy, spanning back centuries, seamlessly melds with radical innovations pointing the way ahead. This is just a taste of everything that makes Mexico utterly unique. The contradictions here, when unveiled, unleash the adventurous soul in anyone. Has Mexico surprised you today with its racy reveals? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.